Hi everybody, Irony here. People ask me why I call myself Irony, like my screen name is Irony. Because a lot of things in my life have been ironic. Like, when I was a kid, I was never taught how to read, and then when I learned how to read, everyone was like, oh, just because she knows how to read, she's not going to like reading, she's gonna hate it. Well, I am now the bookworm of my school, so, you can leave a comment about whether you like this video or not. I'm just expressing myself, as my shirt says. So I'm going to talk about a couple of authors. I'm going to talk about my book, Without Feeling. Not Without Feeling, yeah. And a couple of stories that I read on my downtime. So, the first writer I want to talk about is Shelbs Fox. She writes No Way Out. I like her stories because of one night I was going through this section called Long Stories, and I saw her stories, and it caught my eye because it wasn't as nonsense as most of the stories that were on there. And so when I started reading, I read like part 7 of the series, and it caught my eye, so I went to her story and I started from the beginning, and I've been with her writings since, and I'm addicted, really. I love her stories. She's the reason why I decided to put my stories up, because she's a really good story writer, and I thought maybe my stories would be as cool as hers. So, if you haven't read her stories, you should read them. They're really good. If you have, that's awesome. She's a good writer, isn't she? Along with her stories today, I'd also like to talk about this girl's story. The other one, I like her story because it's very suspenseful, and there's like something that you're missing, and I'm trying to understand it. So I kind of like sometimes when I get a story that I have to understand before I can understand the plot, and so I really like it, and you should read it if you haven't read it before. Another writer that I want to talk about, this will be the last writer I talk about for the night, and throughout these video chats I'll talk more about writers that I like. Her story, it's Bite Me. I like her story, Bite Me. It's a vampire series. Later I'll tell you about vampire series that I actually like. Unlike Twilight, I do not like Twilight. Twilight is stupid. If you like Twilight, that is fine by me, but I can't stand Twilight. Someone should really tell Edward to return Aphrodite's sparkly gel. That I learned on Facebook. It was really funny. I died laughing. Anyway, so her story's called Bite Me. It's about vampires. As per usual, any story that sounds like that would probably be about vampires. But I like her story because instead of like doing stories about sparkly vampires, she did a story about like vampires that were not nice. Anyway, some of the vampires are nice, but like, you know what I'm talking about when I say not nice. They're not the sparkly know-it-alls, really. Anyway, so I liked her story, and she just finished it, so you can read the whole entire thing without having to wait every day for a new post. I kind of like that because I hate waiting. I'm not a very patient person, but for certain stories I'm patient about, and her story I only had to be patient for a couple of days for the ending of it because I'd read the whole other part. So those stories you can read, and books that I read in my downtime. We'll start with the vampire books that I endure more than Twilight. Twilight's the worst series ever. I'm gonna probably say that a bunch of times. Last Sacrifice by Rachel Mead, or I botch people's names. That's why I didn't say the writers' names from earlier. So if I botched their names, sorry, don't yell at me. Last Sacrifice is her last novel in the Vampire Academy series, Vampire Academy being her first book, and I like the story because the main character was somebody who was there to protect her best friend, and I'm like that. I constantly protect my best friend, and I always feel like I need to protect her because there's a story behind why I need to protect her and stuff like that, because people are rude and they don't understand. Anyway, moving along. Another vampire series. It's based in a town of vampires. You might know it's the Morganville Vampires. This is like the 8th book. The first book is called House of Glasses, and the storyline is a girl who is trying to go to college. She's like 16 and going to college because she's smart. She's the nerd of the series. The writer has different characters that bring out different sides of other people. Like, she has the nerd, which is the main character, which she's amazing. She's really cool. They have the broken boy who had a rough childhood, and they have the goth girl who's like badass. She's awesome. She really is. And then you have the pretty boy, and so she brings out like different societies of life, the different cliques, and puts them all together in a house. And from there she learns that the town's full of vampires and stuff like that. Because, well, I can't really spoil that because it's called the Morganville Vampires for a reason. She lives in Morganville and there's vampires. There's not really spoiling it for you. Next book on the list is Delirium. It's a book about a utopian society where love is disease, and it's based in the United States. I liked this book, but I didn't like this book because, well, I just didn't like the way it ended. It really sucked the way that it ended. I mean, I'm not saying the book sucked. I'm saying the book it's good. It's just I didn't like the end because it was sad, and I don't like sad endings. There's a part in the story about a dog, and if you've read the book, you'll understand what I mean about the dog. And if you haven't, and you decide to read the book after you've watched this video, the dog part made me cry. And if it doesn't make you cry, then you're heartless. I'm kidding. I feel like that part it really sucked that people are so inhumane, that part. So, the last book on my list today is School Spirits. It's by Rachel Hawkins. Their series starts with Hex Hall, and I just kind of fell in love with the series, and I haven't actually read School Spirits yet. I'm really excited for it. I just got it like yesterday. I am hoping it'll be really good. So, that is that, and I just wanted to say thanks for listening to me rant on about books and about people that I like their writings. And oh, by the way, if you decide to become a writer, or if you're a writer and you do not have one, you need to get one. It's called a writing bag. A bag full of every utensil needed to write, including a notebook. Several different notebooks. That's that, and thanks for watching, and hopefully you enjoyed, and leave a comment below. Thanks. Peace.